Hey guys, diving right back into it. It is part 2 of Start With Why. We are into it. We are into the bulk of this book, right into the meat of it. And if you're following along, we are in, again, part 2, chapters 3, 4, and 5. So we've discovered so far in the first part that what most companies and people do when they're trying to make sales and business, etc., it might work, but it doesn't really produce the long-term loyalty that we're looking for. So now we're introduced to the golden circle, and that's my horrible drawing of the golden circle, and it all starts with why, as you can see. That's the title of the book. But in these chapters, we really see the different layers of the golden circle as we're introduced to it, and some really cool examples, real-world examples that the author, Simon, gets into with Apple Computers, which was renamed Apple Inc., Southwest Airlines, even why people get Harley Davidson tattooed on their body. I mean, that's a company, and people are getting the logos tattooed. What drives that? What drives the absolute brand loyalty that we see with some of these companies? And he goes into really good detail, some fantastic examples. But this was the big thing. This was the absolute massive quote. I'm bringing out my journal here because I want to quote it personally. This was the big takeaway for me. I mean, I understood the why, the how, the what. I got it. It made sense to me. But the big takeaway for me was a question that Simon, the author, asks in one of these chapters. And he says, instead of asking, what should we do to compete? The questions must be asked, why did we start doing what we're doing in the first place? And what can we do to bring our cause to life, considering all the technologies and market opportunities available today? That was huge for me. That was a really let's get back to the reason why. Why are we doing this? And if we frame it in the book that we're discovering, if we frame these things and let this, the golden circle, be our guide, we will develop that reason why, and that will create the brand loyalty. That will create, because we're doing it for the right reasons. So chapters 3, 4, and 5, part 2 of Start With Why, we're really getting into the descriptions of each layer of the golden circle, but also a really cool question, like I just said, is how can we get back to what matters? Not the what and how we're doing things, but why are we doing it? And that's the question we need to ask. So I hope you guys have followed along and enjoyed part 2. What are your major takeaways from part 2 of the book? How do you see the golden circle play out in your business? How do you see some of the how have you seen that maybe you focus more on the hows and the whats rather than the whys? How can we bring it back? So discuss. Be sure to comment below. And let's dive into chapters 3, 4, and 5 of Start With Why.